Hey everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day and welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, here with Jason.
Hey now.
And we got Monica on the board over there. And we welcome you to explore the world of wine, beer, and spirits with us and everything in between. This is a show about beverage culture, and here we enter day of the year, St. Patrick's Day. And what a show we have packed. We have a lot of history, and we have a lot of good times, and a lot of product knowledge, and a lot of product history, and everything that go along with it coming your way. We'd like to invite you to join us to call in 954-990-0036, or you can email us at brett@bytheglassshow.com, and Jason knows the website.
Check out our website at bytheglassshow.com.
We're going to kick it off with a little bit of some history, some light fare about the man himself, St. Patrick. Doing a little research on him, we found out that he was born in the 4th century in Britain. Actually, he was a Briton by birth, and he was. There was raiders, Irish raiders came over and captured him and took him in as a slave in Ireland, and he was there living for quite a time. They let him go, and he went back to Britain, but then he became a missionary and made his way back over to Ireland to turn the heathens into Christians, so to speak. So a very interesting aspect of him.
Basically, that's how he drove the snakes out of Ireland, is what you're saying.
Well, that's the way I like to look at it,
okay.
That he was a missionary who used what the symbol of St. Patrick's Day today, the shamrock,
okay.
And it's a Holy Trinity symbol because of the 3 different aspects of it. You have the 3 leaves, one for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Ghost, and it's a good symbol for people that don't necessarily know how to read or know how to speak English, for that matter. They were all different clans and didn't really have one.
It kind of looks like a cross.
Yeah. I use it as a symbol to explain to the heathens on how to become Christian, and to explain all that aspect to them. So he was captured by Irish raiders. How weird is that? And he used the symbol, the shamrock, to explain the Holy Trinity and the 3 leaves, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So they say that blue is the color of St. Patrick's Day, but think of it as green around
Absolutely.
here.
Green.
Green for St. Patrick's Day. And green, to me, of course, it's the color of the shamrock, and it's the green of the Irish Isles, right? So, it's beautiful. If you've ever seen pictures of Ireland, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just, rolling hills, and little shamrock guys that are running around everywhere, and there's, pot of gold, every rainbow, and then there's, some gold pot at the end of some other rainbows, too. That's basically the way it works over there in Ireland. But so I think that we're going to stick with green for the official color. But my point of the whole thing with the history of him and of St. Patrick's and everything is that basically it was a religious holiday, which of course is celebrated internationally on March 17th all around the world. And Jason, what are some of the places that they celebrate? It's pretty vast. The whole world celebrates.
South Korea, New Zealand, Japan.
Yeah, Japan. We'd like to give a shout out to Japan. We love our Japanese brothers out there.
Over there.
What beverage culture they have in Japan? Unbelievable. They have vending machines that give off big, 16, 24-ounce cans of beer. You can just walk right up on the street, and hit your vending machine, and then just put in your dollar or whatever, your yen.
That's a show for another day.
Yeah, and just pop it open. But, that's pretty amazing. So we want to give a shout out to their having.
How did it become such a big popular holiday here in the United States?
Well, here's the thing, is that we kind of take stuff that originates in other places a lot of times, and we make it our own. And of course, due to our beverage culture, it's really become one of our most celebrated holidays, for that aspect. That's what Americans do.
Is this one of the biggest days for alcohol sales?
Oh, it's huge. There's not a busier day in any bar anywhere all around the country or the world.
Super Bowl Sunday, it's bigger than that.
I think that definitely this is bigger. There's more people out, more people having fun. Super Bowl Sunday is about the sport, but this is about beverage culture.
Absolutely.
People want to enjoy all the things that go along with it, and we're going to be talking. This show is going to be all about the Guinness, the Bushmills, the Jamesons, the Harps, and the Smittix, and everything that goes along with the beverage culture of Ireland. And definitely one of the biggest days for alcohol sales and for people just being out in the actual bars and everything. They're all out there right now. We're giving shout outs all across the whole world right now to people all over the bars all over the world.
Yeah, bars all over the county and Dade County too.
Yeah, well, more
Wires.
than it's important to celebrate it. because we have to embrace our beverage culture, and that's what this show's all about. This is a show about how we embrace our beverage culture, how it's all linked together, the things that we do, the histories of these products, and how they relate to us in our everyday lives, and how we can have fun with it and enjoy ourselves. So that's what we're going to
Parades
do
seem
here.
to be a pretty big part of this as well.
Well, it's interesting. I was researching a little bit, and there was a parade in Boston in the 1600s, and it was one of the first ones. And I think it was a bunch of Irish immigrants. They were fed up with the labor laws and the way they were being treated, so they all kind of got together and they celebrated their culture as immigrant Americans that day, and they sparked something in Boston that day. But the biggest parade for St. Patty's Day is definitely New York.
New York.
When did that one kick off, Jason?
About 1762.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So 1762 is before we were even a country full-fledged.
That's amazing.
We were celebrating beverage culture in America. So that's what this is all about. I think it is pretty amazing, and it's something that we need to talk about and that we need to celebrate. So that's why we're here every Thursday at 6 o'clock on By the Glass on SoFlo Radio, to celebrate our beverage culture. Absolutely. What are some of the beverages that we like to enjoy? Well, there's a lot of companies out there like Guinness, Jameson, Tullamore Dew, Bailey's, Bushmills. I mean, some of the most amazing products that Ireland has to offer as far as beverage culture goes, or beverages as a whole. And the people that have made these products what they are today are a lot of the immigrants from Ireland and come over to America and promote their what they're proud of, their heritage, so to speak. Some of the biggest promotion of beverage culture in America, and how we know and learn about beverages and how it's imparted into our life come from the immigrants. The German immigrants brought us some of the biggest beer culture, and the French, of course, with the wine, and the Irish just bring the whole package. They brought the whiskey.
It says here New Orleans has a large group of Irish immigrants. So they're there.
I usually think New Orleans. I think large population, a huge. Of course, anything that has to do with drinking. I mean, the French and the Irish, are they really that? Yes. When it comes to enjoying their spirits, wine, and beer, are they really that far apart? So, yeah, this is what the show is all about. Basically, American beverage culture.
Even from the heartland of the country to both coasts, it seems like there's parades that they celebrate this all over the United States.
Absolutely, it's all over the place and all over the world, and that's why it's a great time to kick off By the Glass. Because on St. Patrick's Day, everybody. We were out and about today. I was at the field this morning, and they were drinking. You know what I mean? They were drinking. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was out there, and they were drinking their beer, their Guinness, and their whiskey, and they were eating their corn beef and cabbage.
Yeah, it looks like several places were open between 8 and 10 this morning.
Oh, they were open early, and people were out there. The real, the real go-goers, diehards. They started, at stroke of midnight last night. They were pouring their first Guinness. You know what I mean? So, and we salute you. That's what it's all about. It's all about celebrating everything that has to do with the beverages and just the whole aspect of it. And it's the people involved, it's the products involved, and how they all intertwine and how they all connect us. I mean, if you look at Facebook or you look at Twitter or anything, I mean, how many people, how many bars, this is their time to shine, where everybody's just spouting off and celebrating and talking all about how they have green this or a green that, or they're enjoying a Guinness or this or a whiskey, and just really enjoying themselves and putting forth that idea that this is how we celebrate and enjoy ourselves. So I'm really happy to be here celebrating with you on radio.com. Definitely. It's our biggest Irish beer holiday. It's our biggest Irish holiday of the year. You know what I mean? And we want you to call in. So give us a shout, 954-990-0036. You can email me. Check out my website, Brett at bytheglassshow.com. That's my email.
And the website is bytheglassshow.com.
Absolutely, So it's definitely the busiest days, around, in all the bars. And I'm sure that if you people are getting out and about, that you're going to be finding that too. You mean down in Fort Lauderdale, down at where we had Waxy's, was just, you couldn't even get close to it. It was just overflowing, you know what I mean? And the field had a huge
like Sorley's over on the beach.
Yeah. Some of the places in Miami. George was telling us about some of the places in Miami earlier today.
No, I wasn't.
But we just want to we want to welcome you here to By the Glass, and this is our first show. We're kicking it off, and we're really going to have a good time. When we come back from the break, we're going to kick right into some beverages. We're going to showcase some beverages, some beverage history, and we're going to have a good time with it. Boy, are we going to have a good time.
All right,
with
I'm
ready. So stay tuned. Check us out. Check out the website, bytheglassshow.com, or write me an email at brett@bytheglassshow. And when we come back, we're going to start showcasing our history about Guinness and Smittix and All Harp and all the good stuff. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these words.
SoFlo Radio.
All right, happy St. Patrick's Day. Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard. I'm here with Jason.
Hey now.
And Monica on the board.
Hola.
And we're going to explore the wonderful world of beverage culture. We're going to talk about wine. We're going to talk about beer. We're going to talk about spirits. We're going to talk about holidays. We're going to talk about the Irish beer holiday known as St. Patrick's Day, because what a great time to kick off our first show on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, we'll be coming back every week at 6 o'clock on SoFlo Radio, but this is the one. This is the one we're kicking it off with, and we're real excited. So why don't you, give us a call, 954-990-0036. You can email me, Brett@bytheglassshow.com, or Jason knows the website.
Bytheglassshow.com.
So, hey, St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Yeah, I mean, I'm like I was talking about before the break. I mean, everybody is going out and partying. We were all over the place today, touring around, taking a look. I mean, the field was absolutely amazing. I mean, a place that's just authentic, right down to the absolute decor. George loves the salads, and basically, it's just a wonderful place to go and enjoy
Sure,
a
hang the
perfect
salads on me.
a perfect pint of Guinness, you know, and everything else that, you know, that is Irish, you know. Also, you know, the Hard Rock's gonna be flowing tonight over at Murphy's Law. I mean, the place is gonna be absolutely nuts. Waxy's down on 17th Street, and McGuire's, you know, one of the older original bars down there in Fort Lauderdale. There's so many places to go out and party and have fun on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, wow, this is amazing. I mean,
Now, what's up with the green beer?
Well, the green beer, okay. Well, you know, hey, everything's green on St. Patrick's Day. So, I mean, the green beer is very simple. I know a lot of companies used to sell the green beer in the keg. They used to actually produce it at the brewery and infuse the dye
would have
into
it
it.
on draft.
Right. Well, yes, exactly. Well, there are some companies that still do produce it and have it in the actual keg. So they fill it into the keg and then ship it that way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But the thing is that, you know, it can be a little bit, you know, there's some left over or whatever. You know, you'd be drinking green beer all week after St. Patrick's Day, which is fine, you know. But a lot of people like to just take simple food coloring. Yeah,
One
you just
drop.
take simple food coloring. You put the like, you know, you have your glass and you would take the food coloring. You just drip a little bit into the bottom, and then when you filled it up, as it emulsified and everything, you know, it would flow evenly and smoothly throughout, and then you'd be able to serve it. So that's the easiest
Okay.
way. If you guys are at home, joining us at home with your green beers, that's the best way. Get your simple food coloring, drop it in the bottom there, a couple of drops, and then fill up your beer, and then it'll be nice and green for you, and you can celebrate with us on St. Patrick's Day here on By the Glass. Of course, you know, one of the biggest beverage holidays known to man, you know, St. Patrick's Day. So, what are some of the beverages of choice on St. Pat's? Well, of course, the first one that comes to mind with most people is Guinness.
Guinness.
Oh, you know, the wonderful dark elixir that it is. You know, we'll go into a little bit of history about the man himself, which is Sir Arthur Guinness. He was born in the 1700s in Ireland.
1752 to be
that's
exact.
well, that's when he started the brewery.
Oh,
So
that's-
at the age of 27, 1752, he made his way over to the St. James Gate on the St. James River, and he signed a lease, a 9,000-year lease. Now, how odd is that? Agent was signed a 9,000-year lease, but they
odd.
didn't have very good real estate agents in Ireland in those days, so he got away with murder. Basically, yeah, signed a 9,000-year lease, and you can go to St. James Gate right now in Dublin, which is the brewery. It's called the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin, Ireland, and you can go there and you can see it. It's actually on the wall, the 9,000-year lease. He got pretty lucky because his godfather, oddly enough, left him about 100 quid, which is, you know, about 100 pounds, which in today, I don't even know what that converts to today, but it's a pretty good amount of money. So he went out and he actually started a little bit down from the St. James Gate about a few years before, and started an initial brewery that he brewed porters, mostly porters. And in the 1700s, most people brewed porters because pour ale, and in Ireland and for the most part, brewed ales in those days because of the types of yeast. The lagers really weren't abundant. They didn't have those types of yeast. They didn't even know about them. I mean, whether they were even, you know, they even invented yet to those people, you know, they didn't really know anything about it. So they brewed ales, which is, an ale is a top fermented yeast that ferment very high temperature, but you can also produce a very good beer very quickly and in a very short amount of time. What gives it its that dark color? The fact that they some of the barley after malting is partially
Roasted?
Very good.
okay.
Yeah, they roast it into a nice dark color, which gives it that darkness. They don't roast all the barley. They use some, you know, but most of it, right after they malt it, they roast it, and it gives it that nice dark color. And it's a bitter stout. The reason I say bitter stout is it's not bitter. It's a stout that's not a sweet stout. It imparts more hops into it. You know, Guinness is a very smooth flavor. You know, absolutely. I mean, most
Yeah,
people
for
don't.
a dark beer, it is smooth.
Right,
yes.
but there's a lot. Most stouts that are not sweet stouts like Guinness, they impart more hops. They have a higher hop content than usual. So anyway, back to Sir Arthur and Dublin at the St. James Gate. He signed a 9,000-year lease, and his godfather gave him $100 down, and he bought some materials and got a lease and started brewing. I mean, it's amazing that you could do something like that.
So the first beers he was brewing were probably the materials he get.
Right, we got the material he could get in. You know, some of the fables are that he burned the first batch. He might not have wanted to do dark, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But you can't throw it away because it's what he had, you know what I mean? So it didn't more power to him, and people liked it, and they still do to this day. I mean, it's probably the #1 beer in the world. I mean, sold You know, it's all natural ingredients, and it's just an amazing product. And with that, we shall just jump a little bit into it. Let's pour. Now, what we want to talk about is how to pour the perfect Guinness. I mean, there's people that get paid to pour the perfect Guinness, to show you how to pour the perfect Guinness. So we're going to grab a Guinness out of the... We have some Guinness right here. I could just explain to you a little bit about the different Guinnesses. This one here is the Foreign Extra Stout. Now, this is an export that's mainly exported into the Caribbean and Africa and stuff, where they like a little bit more higher alcohol contents for their types of beers. And basically, it's about 8% alcohol, and it only has CO2. There's no nitrogen involved in this. So all they do is they add CO2, they infuse it with that so that it has its carbonation. However, it has a different flavor. It has a different aspect to it. It's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit bitter, more bitter. It's not the Guinness. Could you grab the can, please? The can, Guinness. Sure. Grab a couple of cans. Absolutely. So, and then the next one we have here is the Extra Stout. Now, this one's a little bit lighter than the Foreign Extra Stout. This is what most of the world knows. This is the one that a lot of people go out in the Caribbean as well, and Africa, and in most of the United States. It's a little bit lighter than the Foreign Extra Stout. It's a little less bitter. It's a little bit more of a mouthfeel, nice and fluffy on your mouth. However, it is not the granddaddy, and the one that I like, and the one when you go into a pub and you actually get a Guinness on draft, you get Guinness draft. And basically, this is Guinness draft in a can, and this one has nitrogen infused to it. It has a widget. The widget inside has very little holes in it, and then nitrogen mixes with the CO2, and it pushes through those little holes and gives you that fuzz, that like really high-end emulsification. Okay, so what we're going to look at when we pour it, first of all, how you pour it is very important. You want a nice clean glass, and then you put the symbol right there for a reason. You want to pour a 45-degree angle. Okay, and then when you pop it, what'll happen is you hear that. Oh wow, that's such a good sound. You hear the widget, and then you pour it like that, and you pour the 45-degree angle, and you want to keep it far away from it and pouring at the angle so that you can keep it just like that. And what is very important is what they call a two-part pour. Now, as you get to about a certain point, till it's about maybe about right about there, you want to let it sit a little bit. And this is my favorite part. This is what they call the nitrogen bond. Look at that cascade. I mean, this is what made this an unbelievable product. I mean, this is what makes this product great. I mean, look at it as it just flows together. The CO2 and the nitrogen bond together, and they give it an emulsification, which then adds to that creamy head and just an overall aspect of the beer, which is just really
it's
magical.
Artwork.
It's artwork. It's
Yeah.
it's science and art and motion. It's so simplistic that it's divine. Absolutely. I mean, I could have filled it up a little bit more, but then when you're sitting there, like a lot of people right now are sitting at a bar and they're waiting on their Guinness, going, for fuck's sake, where's my Guinness? You know what I mean? They're sitting at the bar and they're like, what's going on with this bartender? You know what I mean? She only filled half my glass and she walked away. Well, calm down, everybody. It's called a two-part pour, and believe me, you're going to want it for a reason, because with beer, especially with Guinness, the head is everything. Okay, the flavor, when you have a good clean glass that's been cleaned correctly by the bar staff, they'll clean it in a three dunk tank sink. They know how to clean it and dry it, so that the lacing that you see on the side here, see all this lacing? This is the head that's keeping the flavor into the beer. The head is where all the flavor remains. So when you have your cascade and your nitrogen bond, and it's starting to settle and flow very nicely, and it gets to a certain point to where you get a nice creaminess, then you can just take it and you can actually just fill it up. And you just kind of fill it up to a certain point. See, what happens is now you have your head, which has already been substantial, and it's sitting on top. And what is it doing? It's a flavor saver. It's kind of like one of them big fuzzy mustaches on those guys in the 70s where they have flavor saver. It stays there. It stays on the top, and it keeps all the nice and beautiful nitrogen inside and keeps your flavor, totally intact. And absolutely. Well, cheers. Salud. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Absolutely.
Cheers.
Wonderful. Okay, so there you go, Jason. Pour it up. 45-degree angle, right? We want to keep up our there you go. 45-degree angle. Keep it up and nice. Absolutely. Keep it going. Keep it going. Tilt it so it doesn't pour out the side. There you go. Tilt it that way. There. Absolutely. Very good. Yep. And this is our two-part pour, right? We're gonna let it sit and emulsify. Look at that cascade. What a beautiful, magical product. It's magically delicious. Absolutely. Just like, it's St. Patrick's Day, everybody. We would like to mention Harp and Smithwick's too. Now, Harp is a lager. Now, it came a little bit later, like I was saying. They pretty much only produced ales in those days. And the lagers came around a lot later. They have more like Czechoslovakian roots and German roots. But they are very good products. They are owned by the Guinness Company, and they're also distributed by them. And they're very good products. They're very tasty, and they have their place in the world. They have their place in the beverage world, especially in Ireland. I mean, how could you make a half and half without a harp? A half and half
It's a black and tan. Is that
well?
The
The
same
black
thing?
and tan is the same concept,
Okay.
but with an ale.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
and a pale ale to be specific, and a British pale ale. Now, most people say the original black and tan is with a Bass. And basically what you do is you'd have the spoon, and there's a million people sitting around waiting for their black and tans right now going, what's going on, tender? She's whipping out a spoon, and I want my drink. So what happens is they pour the lager or the ale into the bottom of the glass, and then they would fill it up on the top with the Guinness. They'd actually pour it over the spoon, and it would sit. It's amazing. Guinness is so magical that it will sit on the top of the whatever product it's being poured over. It's lighter because of the emulsification from the nitrogenized liquid. That it's actually lighter than the liquid that's underneath it. Just has CO2 in it. So it sits in almost like, you ever see those mind erasers? I know you drank a lot of mind erasers in your day, right? You ever see those mind erasers, how they're like 3 parts and everything? Yeah, and you can pour it, and one will sit on top of each other. It's the same exact type
Back
of concept.
to the can for a minute. I can
Yes.
hear that thing.
That's
you
the
talked
widget.
about in there.
Yeah, and it's all about the bubbles. When you go into a pub and you have the guy who's pouring it right out of the tap handle, you'll see he'll hold it at 45 degrees, and he'll pull the tap all the way down, and he'll let that sucker go all the way down so the gas just shoots out of it. And there's a plate in there, and that plate has millions of little tiny holes in it. And the nitrogen and the CO2, which is called gas mix, which is in canister, it shoots up through there, and it pushes it out at such a high rate that it emulsifies it and gives it that unbelievable head that you're looking for.
Yeah,
And it's really... That's basically what the Guinness is all about. And it's only 198 calories for the Imperial Pint. Now, an Imperial Pint is a 20 ounce. This is a 20 ounce glass. And in America, a pint is 16 ounce. But in Europe and the UK and everything, the Imperial Pint
Still,
is
that's not a
20 ounce.
lot of calories.
No,
for a
it's
beer.
like skim milk or orange juice. You know what I mean?
To
I
me,
mean,
I
orange
would
juice.
think the darker the beer, the more calories it is.
Yeah, the
but,
darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. No, absolutely. But no, it's a pretty amazing aspect. Guinness is just really an amazing product. And, probably, like I said, 150 countries, time tested, 1759. It's still around, and
What was
everybody's
the
loving
different
it.
bottle you had over there?
There's 2 different bottles over here. We have the extra stout, foreign extra stout, which is higher alcohol content, more continuity. There's no nitrogen in it. It's only CO2, and it is much stronger and much, it has more of a viscous body to it. And then it imparts more of a toasted notes. This is a creamier note, more yeasty, okay, but this one more toasted notes.
So
You
on
can see the
Guinness,
raw-
you might usually I don't like beer out of the can.
Right.
But for Guinness, you might opt.
Oh, you could,
for-
they sell Guinness Draft in a bottle, Guinness Draft in a can, which is what this is. This is the
Okay.
draft version because of the nitrogenized aspect of it. And you could pop it open and drink it right like that if you want. But I like to pop them and pour them like
Pour
you're
'em,
supposed
yeah.
to. Get that cascade going and celebrate it. Woohoo! St. Patrick's Day, everybody. And that's what it's all about. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So, I mean... we got the Harp Lager, and we also have the Smithwick's Ale. Those are the 3 of the aspect of the whole company that we like to celebrate here. But most people, some say basically he made porters. 1700s. A lot of people made porters in those days. This is actually a stout, and the difference is that, like I said, it has more of it has more of a hoppy aspect to it. It has more of a darker. It's not. It looks black. It looks black, doesn't it?
It does.
Black
yeah.
Monica. Does it look black to you? Absolutely. Right. Yeah, but it's really amber. It's amber in color.
No,
But if you
look through the light,
right.
it's amber. Yeah.
Look through the light, and it's amber. Yeah. So I mean, most porters, which are what he started brewing in those days, are basically.
Now, do the draft bottles have the nitrogen thing inside it?
Yeah, yeah. In order for it to be considered that, it would have to be nitrogenized. Now, it's a different initial aspect. This isn't what's in there, 100%. It's a different chemical makeup. It's brewed differently,
Okay.
and we're not going to go into a whole brewing process of it here today. We'll have a brewing show down the road on By the Glass, and on SoFloRadio.com. And hey, why don't you call in? We're having such a good time over here. I forgot to have you guys call in. Call in 954-990-0036 and or email me. Brett at BuyTheGlassShow.com. All right, Jason.
Visit the website at buytheglassshow.com, and you can make a blog entry for us.
I mean, how much fun is this? I mean, we're sitting here on St. Patrick's Day. We're having a wonderful time. I'd like to give a big cheers out to everybody around me. This is our inaugural show. Cheers and salute. And
Woohoo!
everybody out there listening, I hope that you guys have your Guinness out there in radio, internet radio land, and you're sitting there and just enjoying a nice, you're kicking it off with us with a beautiful Guinness or something of your liking. And we'll be right back. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit baby and everything else that goes with St. Patrick's Day. For fuck's sake, I love whiskey, and we're just going to be loving it all. So we're going to be coming right back on All St. Patrick's Day Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
Show.com.
Yeah, before we get into whiskey, though, I mean, there's so many different beverages, thank God. There's so many different beverages, most of them come from Ireland, all around the rest of the world, but there's a lot of stuff that we can celebrate. So we're going to talk a little bit about, an Irish beverage that until I got into, the beverage world, I never even really knew existed other than, like, when I grew up in New York, we used to go out, during Halloween on hay rides, and we drink that hot cider, that hot spiced cider, and everybody loved that, you know what I mean? And, geez, Mom, why does this cider taste so good? You're not supposed to be drinking that cider. You're supposed to be drinking that cider.
Mommy cider.
It's the mommy cider, you know what I mean? But Cider is a big part of the beverage world. As you well know, or if you don't, or you're going to find out on By the Glass, is that pretty much anything with sugar in it can be fermented into alcohol. And that's the basis of all alcohol. Whether you have a beer, which is, barley, which is malted, which malting is actually the sprouting open of the barley. And then they heat it up just at a certain point so that it gets dried out. And then they use that to make a brood out of, and they boil it in water, and then enzymes kind of open up. They add yeast to that because it's very sugary, and that becomes alcohol. Also with apples, so to speak, not going from apples, oranges, but with apples, so to speak. Magners, this right here is an Irish cider, one of the original Irish ciders, made in Tipperary. Can't get much more Irish than Tipperary on St. Patrick's Day. And Magners is very interesting because, basically taking apples and turning it into cider is pretty interesting to me.
It tastes like beer?
Well, I think that it's a little bit stronger, a little bit drier.
Okay.
It doesn't have as much carbonation. It's kind of like, I don't know how many people out there know like a Prosecco from Italy. The difference between like a Prosecco from Italy and a Champagne is that a Prosecco is a frizzante. It doesn't have as much bubbles. It doesn't have the same type of bubbles. It's from a different country, and it's a different aspect. They're both made from grapes. They're both secondary fermented. However, they're different but the same. Same thing with Magners or cider. I'm sorry. Apples.
Price difference there on the champagne and.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But just the concept aspect, absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, the difference between cider and beer is cider is it's not actually sweeter, you would think, because it's made out of apples. It's not. But anything that contains sugar can be converted through yeast into alcohol. Remember that. So if you got a scale here and you got something super sweet, you can ferment that sucker all the way to 10 and get rid of every single aspect of the sweetness and make it completely dry and totally alcoholic. And it's for a very high alcohol content, and just get rid of all sweetness. Or you can stop at mid-level and retain some of the alcohol, kind of like a Riesling. And we get into all that stuff. Riesling is a white wine from originally from Germany. We'll get into all that stuff, but very similar. Fruits are fruits, and basically, it's a apple-based beverage that is fermented with yeast and enjoyed all the world. From Ireland, St. Patrick's Day. So let's pop in a little bit of Magners. I want to pop it open because I want Jason to explain to you, because I think he's native to this.
I have never tasted it.
Never tasted it. But that's what I meant to say. So we're going to try it. I've tasted Magners or apple ciders a few times, and there's all different kinds, and they're very wonderful. But I want you guys to take a look at this. I mean, look how pretty it is. It's pale. I'm thinking like a little bit more of a straw color, but look at that. I mean, it's kind of like a beautiful amber color. I mean, it's really nice. It's kind of inviting. I mean, it looks a little bit like beer.
It's kind of bubbly.
It's bubbly. It's celebratory. Which is what we like to do here on By the Glass. We like to celebrate. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a... wow. I mean, what do you get off the nose? I'm taking apricots and peaches and floral and fruity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, it doesn't just our own apple. I mean, the apple would almost be the last thing that would come to my mind. I mean, there's a whole bouquet of just nice fruit
Very
flavors
fruity.
in there.
Yes.
Right. Why don't you take a drink and tell us what you think? Because I like to see your interesting aspect of it.
It tastes very good.
Yeah, you like it?
Tastes a little bit like apple juice.
Oh, well, absolutely. But it has a nice amount of alcohol in it, too.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wanted to take a little time and talk a little bit about Magners. I mean, I want you guys to go out and try some ciders. There's a bunch of different ciders. But, hey, it's when you're going out and you want to get your beer for the night, you can basically go out and try something a little bit different. Try an Irish cider. Try an Irish cider on St. Patrick's Day. Go out tonight if you're going out to all the different bars and everything, and say, hey, you know what the hell? I'm going to try an Irish cider because I heard about it on By the Glass, and it's something new, something fun, something different, kind of like this show. You want to call us up? You want to be a part of the show? Give us a call, 954-990-0036, or you can email me, Brett@bytheglassshow.com.
Check out the website at bytheglassshow.com.
All right, so Jason says apple juice. Apple cider, apple juice. I don't see but we're gonna try it on our. Like I said, I get a lot of nice, almost like a brandy type quality when the plum, or maybe if it was aged in like a cask or something. That's what I'm imparting from it.
Okay.
It's very nice, and the beautiful color. I just can't get over that. I'm gonna take a nice sip. I'm tasting berries almost like grapes. And all different kinds of aspects.
It's got a beautiful color to it. I must say that.
Beautiful color, but then the finish is very light and clean. This works well with a lot of different foods. This, the reason it works so well is fish and chips. Any fried foods, when you're out there, and your bangers and mash, your shepherd's pie today, this really just washes it down wonderfully. It's not too sweet. It doesn't overbearing. It doesn't fill up your stomach. It's an excellent complementary aspect to most of your Irish foods, to your British foods.
So you could drink that with your meal, no problem at all.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? As well as Guinness. Guinness works well with a lot of stuff. The thing is that you want to always have balance. Okay, you want balance in your beverage. You want balance in your meal with your beverage. You want things to work out well. Why do you red wine with steak? Well, because the tannic acids, they balance out the fatty acids, and then they break through it. They cut. You want a nice, why would you have a nice white wine with chicken? Because they work well to complement each other in the nice light juices that flow, the meats aspect of it's all about balance, okay? So this is a nice meal breaker with, I fish and chips and a nice, man, I'm in heaven on St. Patrick's Day.
Sounds very good to go with that. Yeah.
But I am in heaven on St. Patrick's Day on SoFlo Radio at By the Glass. I mean, this is absolutely cool. I mean, how many people, can sit around and talk about beverages all day long? I mean, this is amazing. So we're really enjoying ourselves. Join the party. Come on, call in 954-900-0036. We want to have some fun with it. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to move on to a little bit about Irish whiskey. Now, Irish whiskey is pretty interesting because my research now, I'm sure there's some refuting or rebuttal to this, but Irish whiskey is pretty much the first whiskey to come around. In the Dark Ages, Ireland was a refugee for monks throughout the Christian world. They came from Spain. They were driven out by the Moors. They moved northeast through Europe, through Britain, and they kind of ended up in Ireland. I guess they were willing to cross the span of water, the British Straits there, and basically they ended up there. They brought stills with them. A lot of the monks, they brought stills with them that they had to take it and run with it because the Moors would use them to make perfume. A lot of the Arabs and the Islam, they do not enjoy the beverage culture that we enjoy every day. So basically,
they were using the stills for something else.
They were using the stills to make perfume, which they needed, those stinky bastards. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, the monks, the Christian monks, they would take it to Ireland and they figured out a way to take barley, mash it down. But barley's made from wheat, which you can find, mostly barley. There's all different kinds of barley. There's 4 and 5 different rows of the barley. There's all different aspects to it, and we'll get into that on different shows. But they figured out a way to take the barley and they mash it down, and they ferment it with yeast, and they heat it. And it would cause alcohol to be transformed. The yeast would cause the enzymes and the sugars in the barley to turn into alcohol, and then they would boil it at a certain point. And alcohol and water boil at different temperatures. So the water, as it boils off, the alcohol boils quicker, and it distills quicker. It rises, and then you can catch it on the top of the pot still, and as it trickles down, you can catch just the pure alcohol, and the water then departs. So they figured out how to do that, these monks. I mean, they were so busy, all day. Who knows what they were doing, but they were making really good whiskey is what they were doing. They had a lot of time on their hands, They were plotting out land to grow grapes, and they were making really good whiskey. So I think the world's first whiskeys come from Ireland. I mean, actually, in the northern part of Ireland, I know there's the Bushmill, 1608 Bushmill. He became the first licensed distillery. He was licensed by who else but the church, because who else gave out a license back then? The okay to do everything. They gave him out, and basically they said, look, okay, now you can distill this stuff. We're going to make you legal. We're going to make you the number one guy, and you're going to be able to pay us now. How wonderful. Yes, yeah, you can fuel our economy with your whiskey. Yeah, absolutely. So we like to give a big shout out to Bushmills, but also a big shout out to Jameson's. I mean, Irish whiskey is a big part of our whole aspect of beverage culture and the Irish beverage culture.
Biggest whiskey.
Yeah, pretty much. And Tullamore Dew is another third one. So pretty much. But we're going to do something fun when we come back from our break. We're going to break soon. We're going to come back and we're going to wrap up the show with a little bit more about whiskey.
And my favorite part.
And everybody's favorite part. I think we're going to make some Irish car bombs. Let's just do it. We're just going to slam them down. And we're going to have some fun. I think Mr. Guest woke up. All right. So we'll be right back with By the Glass on SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. Radio's dirty little secret.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the weight loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Buy the best custom full-color balloons with your photo, logo, or design that will blow your next party or event away with photoballoonstore.com. Take a look for yourself and see why photoballoonstore.com is the place for full-color, custom-printed photo balloons. Our balloons are not made out of rubber, latex, or mylar. They're made from a durable aluminum foil composite film that keeps them inflated longer than any other balloon sold. 11 inches in diameter uninflated, 9.5 inches inflated. These balloons can be reinflated over and over again. Cheer on your Miami Heat basketball team at home or the arena with our version of the Miami Heat Dream Team balloon. These limited edition memorabilia balloons are available for only $6.95 for a limited time. Visit photoballoonstore.com for more. Order yours today. We deliver on time and fast. Photoballoonstore.com. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology, preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
I'm the voice of terrestrial radio. Internet radio will not succeed. You will continue listening to sports, right-wing talk, and mayonnaise FM. If you disobey, we will punish you with more right-wing talk, sports, and mayonnaise FM. We are corporate, ergo, we are never wrong. Listen and obey. Listen and obey. Shut it down, evil foe, for I am SoFloRadio.com, and I'm here to give back what people want to hear. A variety of entertainment, fresh music, comedy, and different points of view. I own you! Oh, your fart-radiating suit and tie don't frighten me, old chum. Behold the power of SoFloRadio.com. My balls are falling off. You only had one, my evil friend. There. Now you'll have to squat to pee. SoFloRadio.com. Castrating terrestrial radio. One ball at a time.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey, 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 happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Yeah, this is By the Glass, on the SoFlo Radio Network, and I'm here with Jason.
Hello.
And we got Monica on the board, and we're just having a wonderful time on this Irish holiday. This is our Irish holiday show. We want to thank you all for being here. I mean, we couldn't, it's amazing. I'm beside myself. I get to sit here and talk about the things that I love, and that's beverage culture, and beverage culture, it's a big part of our lives. It's how, it's how we celebrate. It's how we, make friends. It's how we, enjoy ourselves in our, basically it's an amazing thing. And this show, it comes from the beverage culture itself. It caused me to do this show, beverage culture is something that I just, I adore it. And I had an opportunity to bring, my adoration for it to everyone around me. And I just took, took hold of that wonderful opportunity, and sharing it with you guys is just like, it really is a dream come
Nothing
true.
better than having drinks with friends.
It's basically, that's what it's all about, and this is a wonderful time and a good time to do it. And thank you for being here. And hey, you want to give us a call? 954-990-0036. You can email me at my wonderful webpage, brett@buytheglassshow.com.
Check out the website at buytheglassshow.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we went into the break, we were talking a little bit about Irish whiskey. And Irish whiskey it's an amazing thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, in 1608, Bushmill became the first licensed distillery. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, that's a long time ago. That people were taking grains and converting them into alcohols and then distilling them and then making a product that then it's handled and racked and it's aged in certain types of wooden casks, till it's perfect. And then they use some places use what they call a solera, which is where they take different years of beverages. So like they have like one from one year, one from the next year for every single different distiller. And they kind of use a little bit of every one. You know why? Because it makes them all more even. So the end product, so every year when you buy the product, it tastes pretty much even and same. One's not too high alcohol, one's not too low, one's not too much of this flavor, one's not too much of that. They're all very similar. It promotes an even aspect to the whole, to the beverage quality. It's made from fermented mash of malted and unmalted barleys, corn, rye, and lesser amounts of cereal grain. And that's very important how they make it because, there's a lot of different whiskeys out there. We're going to have a whole whiskey show which talks about the different whiskeys. And a lot of the different whiskeys are, laws have a lot to do with how things are made.
I usually think of like Scottish whiskey.
Yeah, Scotch whiskey is very similar in its origins. And, they
have blended and unblended. Do they have that same thing for Irish whiskey? Or?
Well, actually, most Irish whiskey is all blended. Okay? But the thing is that we'll get into that in another show. It's very complicated. Okay. We don't want to confuse anybody. This is a fun show. This is our holiday show.
Yes.
But basically, it's made from it's a mash of malted and unmalted barley, corn, rye, and lesser amounts of cereal grains. Now, it's all about the laws. Okay. Now, the way that they do things, these laws are created because that's if done right and done well and create a good product. I mean, you got to come up with an end product that people are going to like. I mean, hey, we're selling this stuff. I mean, come on, this isn't just for fun. So basically, they want to come up with a decent product. So they came up with laws, and what they found was they liked that flavor, that sweeter flavor of the malted barley. So when they take their barley and barley is then it's malted, which means that it's a piece of basically grain that's soaked in water and then it sprouts open. And as it opens up and sprouts, then they heat it to stop it at a certain point. Then they take that and they use that to make their mash. They add water to that. The enzymes that come from the sprout are then added yeast, and then that's fermented to make the alcohol. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the difference is in the initial aspect of it is the differences between, like, let's say Scotch whiskey and Irish whiskey. It's Scotch whiskey, they impart a lot of peaty and smoky flavors. They'll take Scotch, the barley, and as they're heating it, as they're making it sprout open, they'll put it on a screen. They'll actually dig a pit in the ground that they'll fill it with seaweed and different aspects of peat moss and all kinds of things on the bottom, and they'll heat all that up, and that smoke will give off flavor, and that flavor, there's a screen over the top of the pit with all the barley on it, and it's sitting there on top, and it's imparting all flavors that are coming out of those natural ingredients that they're throwing on the fires. The Irish don't do that. The Scotch do that. The Irish, they malt their barley in closed kilns so that there's no smoky, peaty flavor. And I've poured a little Jameson's, and you can see how beautiful the color is. It's a nice, wonderful color. It almost looks like the Magners. I mean, it's a nice, beautiful straw. Yeah. It's a little bit more of a bite. And if you take a sniff, it's a very sweet aroma. It's very nice. It's very inviting. I'm not going to do this shot, but I will taste a little. Absolutely wonderful. Wow. Now, that is a very inviting whiskey, and you can tell that it's been around about 400 years. I mean, it's a quality
you can sip
product.
That whiskey.
You can really sip it. Yeah. It's sweet, and it has a lot of that malted barley flavor to it, which is very signature of an Irish whiskey. Cheers. I mean, absolutely. I mean, hats off to you. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's a good Irish whiskey. You know what I mean? So
delicious.
I'm really, absolutely. Jameson really does a good job, and that's probably why they're one of the number one Irish whiskeys. And, that's what sets it apart. I mean, there's just a little bit of tidbit. People say, what's the difference, And we'll get into all that in different shows because week at 6 o'clock, here on the SoFlo Radio Network and on SoFlo Television as well. Check out our ugly mugs on SoFlo Television. Woohoo. Yeah, but we're here every week, so... we're going to be talking about this stuff. So basically, we want to get into the fun part of the show. Now that we've gone over most beverages, we want to talk a little bit about the culture, the aspect of it, which is in the bars. The Irish, they do bar better than anybody. And happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I mean, everybody should be at least enjoying themselves at home or heading out to the bar. If you're just coming home from the bar, if you're in a frickin' bar, if you're at a party and listening to us, thank God. That would be awesome. You know what I mean? And we just want to. I wish I could hear the roar of the crowd. Woo! Everybody say, "Yay! Happy St. Patrick's Day!" But in bars, what we like to do is there's one drink that kind of sums up St. Patty's Day. It's called the Irish Car Bomb, and we've kind of worked ourselves out here a little bit so that we have everybody's got their Guinness ready to go. Okay. And we have mystery guest over there, and we have Black Monica. She's got her Guinness ready to go, and we've pre-poured our shots of Jameson. Now Jason's going to top them off with Bailey's. Yeah, it's going to be, but you got to drink it down there. So no, we're going to top off top it off with Bailey's very quickly.
Wait. But what happens?
Okay, we're going to take it. I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to explain it. As we take it and we top it off, we top off our Baileys. Yeah, we'll keep them away from the computers, and everybody gets a little bit, and here's you go. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that, right? And Jason's pouring the Baileys into the shot of whiskey. And you can smell it. It's a beautiful smell and very little curling. It's very nice. Jason will pour his own into the shot of whiskey. So you take your little shot of whiskey, about 1.5 ounces of whiskey. Go by the Glass Show, the website.
There's a link
There's
right
a
there
link
on the
to
blog.
show you how to make an Irish car bomb. We hope that everybody makes one of these tonight. Yeah, we're going to absolutely. We're going to hope that everybody makes one tonight.
And where did the name come from?
I honestly, that's something that I don't know for sure. It might be a little bit offensive to some people, but you know what I mean, Irish car bomb. But we're not going to lay claim to any of that.
How can you offend an Irish?
Especially on St. Patrick's Day. So we take our whiskey, our Irish whiskey, our nice malted, sweet flavored Irish whiskey. We fill it with a little bit of Bailey's, which is a fine cordial, which we'll have a cordial show down the road. And we take our nice stout, our Guinness stout, a most wonderful Irish beverage. And look at this. I mean, we're in hog heaven here, and we're going to take it and we're going to put our fingers over the top of the glass, and as we drop it, we're going to have to slam this sucker. So here we go. This is history being made. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. 1, 2, 3, and go! Holy shit! Wow. Happy St. Patrick's Day with an Irish car bomb. Yes. SoFlo Radio. I mean, where else can you sit around and drink and have good times? We're going to be coming to you every week, 6 o'clock. We're going to have knowledge. We're going to have industry insiders. We're going to have all kinds of stuff. We're going to be showcasing beverages. We're going to be showcasing everything. We're going to just talk all about beverage culture. We're going to talk about places. We're going to talk about mixology, everything you can think of. Hey, if you can think of it, call it in. Get it to me. Write me on my website. Brett at BuyTheGlass.com. Call into the show. You know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do. But if you want to be a part of it, if you want to have fun with us and enjoy beverage culture with us, you can do that every Thursday at 6 o'clock. I hope that you've enjoyed our holiday show. I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day, and I'd like to say now that please do not overdrink. We do not promote any overdrinking. Enjoy all these products responsibly. Hopefully you're enjoying them in the company of your own home. But if you are at a bar, have somebody drive, because we do not promote drunk driving, especially on St. Patty's Day. Give a hoot. Please don't drunk drive. I think that's how it went. Yeah, and we don't no drinking while pregnant. Please, all you mothers out there, wait till 9 months till it's over. And of course, no underage drinking. You should be 21 to enjoy all these beverages. Please enjoy responsibly. Okay. Because here, we want you to be here next week, at 6 o'clock on Thursdays to enjoy the next By the Glass. This is really more about the culture and the fun of it all. It's not about just getting hammered. I mean, any jackass can go out and maybe it is. Any jackass can go out and just get drunk, but not everybody can really understand and enjoy.
Educated drunks.
Yeah, we're educated drunks. We're educated drunks. Yeah, absolutely. Not everybody can really understand and enjoy, the true fine aspect of beverage culture. And I think it's very celebratory. And I think it's very fun. And when you go out into the world tonight, when you go out to your bars and enjoy yourself, and go to the field and have yourself a nice Irish car bomb. Walk right up to Jay and say, "Hey Jay, give me an Irish car bomb," because Brett from for the folks' sake, Jay, I want an Irish car bomb. You know what I mean? Because Brett from By the Glass told me to come on in here. Tell him, hey, I want an Irish car bomb. So enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful, happy St. Patrick's Day, Jason.
Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone.
Yeah, and we want you to go to the website, please, guys. Check it out.
BuyTheGlassShow.com.
This grows with you. I mean, I need you guys to give me some input. What do you want to hear? Do you want to hear an American beer show? Do you want a craft beer show? Do you want to do a Bordeaux wine show? Do you want to talk about sake? We're going to have a sake.
We're going to have a sake
Everything
expert.
You can think of. I mean, it's as vast as the ocean itself. I mean, if you literally took all the beverages in the world and poured them into the ocean, it would probably be about, even, because it's just that vast. I mean, it's an amazing thing, and we so thank you so much for being here on By the Glass. And Everybody, have a wonderful, safe, and happy St. Patrick's Day, our first show. All right, baby, give it to me. All right. Thank you, everybody. On SoFlo Radio.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.
What do you think, guys? How we do?